Hi guys, welcome to Paper Old and New. I am trying to figure out what to do with all my 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. So I thought I would turn on my camera and bring you along for the ride. When I find a cool project that I like, or I play with paper and come up with something that I like, I thought I would share it with you. So the first one we're going to do is, we'll jump right in. And the first one we're going to do is this, it ends up being a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 5-inch square, and you open it up. You can have a pocket on the front here, a pocket on the inside here, a tuck down this corner, a tuck on this corner, a pocket. This can actually be either on the outside of this flap or the inside of this flap. And then you have this center area that you can either put a pad in or some journaling space or whatever you want to do. Now, once you've got this made, you can clip it into a journal, or if you really wanted to, you could glue it down on 3 sides and make it a pocket. It can, I mean, you can stick something in behind there on a page, and this will still flip open on top of it. So, yeah, so this can either be attached to your journal or clipped into your journal. And then I made this one. This was the first one I made, and this was on single-sided. This is on double-sided paper. This is on single-sided paper. And I added some scrapbook paper pieces to the inside, and you can see I made lines here to make that a journaling space. And this is just kind of open for, you know, to do whatever. You could maybe collage here or decorate it or whatever you want to do. And on this one, it does not have the pocket on this outside. Instead of folding that pocket in and putting it here, I cut it off and put it out here. So this is not one that you would glue down unless you want to lose that pocket. So, and then I made a little tag for it out of some scraps of the paper that I used to line the inside. Okay, so let's get right in this. I did use a scoreboard for these. You don't have to. I mean, I guess you could measure and figure it out. And of course, I also used an X-Acto knife and a ruler just because it makes it easier for me. And of course, glue. So you guys get your supplies, a snack, whatever you want to get if you want to craft along, and we'll come back here and get started. So basically this is a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and you're inside this square here in the center is 5 inches square. So we're going to take, I'm going to take this paper because I want to make some stuff out of this Halloween paper, guys. I'm like, also, for some of these projects, I was upstairs without a scoreboard, so you don't strictly need a scoreboard. But if you have one handy, it makes the folds easier. I do happen to have one handy over here in my side drawer. I'm not going to pull it up on my desk, so every once in a while I'll go off camera to score. Well, no, I actually have space. I wasn't pulling it up on my desk before because I didn't have space. But I have space, so we'll do it up here so you can see me. Okay, so basically what I did was I took and I went, if you want your middle to be 5 square and you have a 12 by 12 piece of paper, you're looking to border it with 3.5 inch folds. So we go 3.5 inches, turn it, 3.5 inches, turn it, 3.5 inches, and one more, right? Yep, 3.5 inches. Okay, and that gives us our fold lines and our center square, right? Now all you have to do is decide whether or not you want, which side of your your 2-sided paper, you want to be your center. Like, so do I want these skulls to be my center, or do I want the purple spider web to be my center? I'm not really sure, but I think I'm going to go with the purple spider web as my background I feel like it's more versatile because I don't know what I'm going to do with this square yet. And depending on what I end up doing with it, the spider web will be easier. Okay, now we're going to make our cuts. Actually, yeah, we're going to make our cuts. So you have to keep in mind which way you're folding each of these, because you obviously want to cut, like this piece here is going to make the inside pocket of this flap. So we're going to cut right along this. We're going to cut right along this score line. And the reason I'm not using a cutter is because I want to be able to just cut these little pieces off of here, and I am going to be using my ruler to do it. So while a cutter is faster at cutting things, it's not as accurate at this when you're trying to stop at a specific spot. Plus, and as far as me cutting with scissors, oh guys, those would be the most unstraight lines you've ever seen. So we go right here to where the seam is and cut there. And then if you want to, which I am going to do, I'm going to go right over to the other side of the little 13-inch mark, and I'm going to cut so that we get that fold piece out of there. Whoop, my paper lifted. Okay, so we're going to cut that little piece in the middle, just like a hair's width. You see that? I don't know why I'm trying to saw that. Did you see me do that? Okay. So we have that, and this will fold up here, like that. Okay? So that's our top flap. All right, now the same thing is going to happen on this one because this makes the outside pocket for the top flap. So like, it would help if I didn't bury my example. So this was this pocket. This will be the other pocket. So we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to cut on either side of this score line. To get rid of what's in between. Basically getting rid of the excess material from the score line just helps so that when you go to fold this back up again, nothing interferes with any of your folds. That's all we're looking for here, is to not have any okay, and that's going to go that way. And can you see that that's not straight either? Did you see that with a ruler? Because it moved. I know. Blame it on the paper. But hopefully that's at least close to straight. Okay. So that's our two pockets for this, either side of this flap. So you've got a pocket on the inside of the flap and you've got a pocket on the outside of the flap. Okay? So that's those. Now, the other one has a pocket on the outside of this flap. So we're going to, again, cut to either side of the score line. Not all of these are to either side of a score line, but most of them, 3 of them are. So we're going to cut to this side of this score line. And then we're going to move it and cut to the other side of the score line and hope that this piece of paper stays. It's very difficult to see. Oh, I think I did it that time, guys. Well, I can tell there's a little bit of... Okay. So this one will fold up on this side. Okay, like that. Now, the last one to get the corner tucks is you want to line up the corner of your scores to the corner of your paper, right? So we're going to cut a stripe. We're going to make a cut right. Wish I could see that better because I don't want to mess this up. I mean, if it's slightly off, it won't be a big deal, but I'd like for it to be where it's supposed to be. Okay, so you're going to take it and you're going to go from corner to corner. Just like that. And that gives you this corner tuck and this corner tuck. Okay? Do we get all that so far? What we'll do is I'll do another one of these with the coffee dyed paper, and hopefully I can explain it a little better. Let me get my punch. I don't have my punch. Because we are going to punch notches, and I am going to round corners, because I can't do this stuff without rounding corners anymore. I don't know why. Sometimes I have gotten to where I do like this little bitty corner. I didn't look at, what is that size? 4 millimeter. Okay. Now bone folder. Get that folded really well. And glue. My thought on these, by the way, was that it would be really fun to make a whole bunch of them out of all different kinds and styles of paper, so that when you're making journals, if you wanted to grab one of these to clip in, you could. And technically, if you really wanted to, you could glue this in. I mean, it's a 5-inch square. If you glue it to the center of a page, all these little flip outs, you could glue it in and you could make the back a pocket. And then you would have, it would be a permanent part of the journal, or you can just clip it in with a paper clip. Now, because there are pockets and folds on all the sides, the idea of a closure is a little difficult. The one thing about clipping it into your journal is the paper clip would help hold it closed. Because I'll show you when we get all this glued what I'm talking about. I'm sure you have an idea from what I'm saying, but just about every single, actually I think every single flap on the outside that you would stick an eyelet through has a pocket. So if you stick an eyelet through it, you're gonna take away some of your pocket. So, and like I said, I have all this Halloween paper that I just was tired of looking at. And it's not that this makes me any less tired of looking at it, but I'm hoping I can make it into things. So, down the road, if I do decide to, we do Christmas in July, maybe we do Halloween in May. But if I do decide to work on making, Halloween journals when I have nothing, absolutely nothing better to do. All right, so that's the top flap done. And this flap, because we decided to make the purple, folds down. And you can see that cutting that gap does leave a little bit of space. You can see the border there. Now, it's up to you whether or not you want to make that a little less, or if when you cut right down the center of the score and then just trim it at the top. I mean, however you want to make that work. It's more important. It's not really as important for this one. It's more important for the inner one, because that's outside and it doesn't interfere with the fold from out there. Okay. So this one is also going on the outside, and as you can see, this did not get trimmed all the way over, so it overhangs, which means later down the road, we will be trimming the edge after we get it glued down straight. So another pocket here. And down it goes. Once you get the hang of the scores and cuts, these actually do not take a long time to put together. What took me the longest on the black and white one was making all of the pink liner pieces. Getting them all the right size, making sure they didn't interfere with the folds, all that. I have a string of glue in there. I don't want it to close my pocket. And I don't want to see, I did it. Did you see that, guys? Flip it over. All right. So we get that one down. And like I said, when you fold this over, if you flip, I don't actually see, well, maybe a little bit right there at the top. You just have to be careful not to cut your fold. So just right there at the top. And there we have another one done. Now this one is blank for you to decorate or whatever. All right, now we do the little corner tucks and we're done. This is finished. So like I said, I've been looking for, guys, I have tons of scrapbook paper. So right now, these projects mostly lend themselves to the double-sided stuff. So I literally, after I did these, I literally went through my scrapbook paper stacks and found all of my double-sided paper and separated it out. So that when I want to do some of these where you're going to be seeing both sides of the paper, I would have the double-sided paper separated out. I could just go through it and find something that I wanted to use, and it would be ready. And then I have all of those paper pads that I got. You've seen me haul them on discount at Michael's that are beautiful. I love them, but they are not double-sided. So you would either have to put a nice thin sheet of, well, for me anyway, I made the ones out of regular paper, and I just don't, I'm not a big fan of the stark white. So now I suppose what you could do is you could get some ink and one of those blending brushes and like do some stenciling and inking up the inside so that it doesn't look quite so white. Okay, now the way you fold this, you put it up so that your flap with the pocket on the outside and the pocket on the inside is up. Okay, I suppose you could fold this any way you wanted, but this is just the way this goes in. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's buckling a little bit. Which is also why I don't fold on the score line right away, because if there's any place you need give. Oh, that's not straight. Okay, we're gonna have to trim that. Is this the one I trimmed? This is probably the one I trimmed. I didn't trim enough off. Okay, there we go. So up and down, just like that. Okay, and like I said, this spot is, I mean, you can decorate it and then you can pin it in a journal, clip it in. I had a page right here. I don't know what I did with it. Right, here we go. Okay. So you could pin it in your journal like this, if that was your page. Maybe I should page it, do it on something that isn't quite so, there, so you can see it. Okay, so you could pin it in there, like so, and that would hold it closed. Or you could glue it. You could glue it down on 2 sides, make a tuck. You could glue it down around 3 sides, make a pocket, make a side pocket, so that this is, you know, something extra in your journal. And then if you had it glued down, these things would still open. It would just flip open inside your journal, right? And there you have it. So I thought that was a lot of fun. And they'll fit in most of our journals. The 6x9 size that everybody's favorite, this is 5 inches square, so this will fit. Let's do one with the coffee dye paper and see how that turns out. All right, put the glasses back on. I took them off to find the trimmer. Okay, so we're going to take off the, and you see how straight my trimmer cuts? Actually, no. It's the hard part about coffee dyed paper is I feel like it doesn't sit flat against your ridges anymore, so it doesn't hold a straight. That could just be me making excuses because I can't cut straight, but you know. Okay, so now on this one, I definitely want the coffee dyed to be my center square, right? Because, well, obviously you want as much of the and this is also one where I might not want to lose, like on this one, I don't care. But on this one, we have all these pretty lacy designs. So depending on how this ends up folding and what we get, because this middle part is going to have some of our design. So depending on what it looks like, I might not want to, okay, let's make sure this isn't, it is, it jumped ship. I've never actually scored coffee dyed paper before. And it jumped ship on me. Okay. Stop dawdling. All right, so 3 1/2, 3 1/2. I feel like coffee dyed paper scores differently. Is that weird? Okay, and one more. See, jump ship on me again. And by jump ship, I mean it skipped over to the next 1/8 inch line over. It just bounced out of its spot. All right. Let me get this out of the way. And put this up here. And let's get started. Okay, so, ouch. Up here, these are interchangeable. I mean, you can cut these away and use either or as your outside. Just remember that whichever one you put to the outside, you're going to lose the design on. So you have to decide whether you want, which design you want. I kind of want the blue to show just because it's so much different, but I don't know. So let's cut it and see what it looks like. You could also, I mean, it doesn't have to be, I mean, I can turn it that way. Right? Let's turn it that way. I don't know why I want it that way, but I'm going to turn it that way. All right. Ruler. This side of the line. That side of the line. Now, since both of these... Okay, guys, guess what? I cut the wrong one. So guess what? This is my top. Did you just watch me do that? And this is going to be my inside pocket because I split this one. This is what happens when you're not paying attention. Okay. Luckily, it's 12 by 12 square, and we can just turn it whichever way we want. All right. So, sorry, guys. Now we've cut here. I am going, since this is going to be my outer pocket, which I'm really kind of sad about, but I am going to cut this right up the center of the score so that if there's any overhang for the pocket, or right down the side of the score. And so if there's any overhang, I can trim it off, and it will hopefully make this one so it doesn't interfere with the fold. So we do want that one to be a little bit shy, right? And this one can be a little bit wide because it's folding to the outside. So this will fold here. And when I fold this down, whatever hangs over, we can go ahead and trim off. And we don't have to worry about any of that spacing stuff. If I can get out of my own way. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's our top flap. And we have a decorative pocket, and we have hidden blue page. However, this one will fold over, and it will be, this will have, now depending on the way your pockets are, if you wanted to, and because the other side of my paper is the decorated side, what I may very well do is make this pocket, these pockets can go either way, guys, right? Depending on what you want it to be. I might, instead of making this flip out to the outside, I may have it flip in so that you can see the coffee design. I don't know why I'm putting that all the way up there. So we're going to trim this like that. And then we're going to go over and trim it again because it's going to go to the inside. Okay. Get that off of there. And we're going to flip this up to the inside this time. It doesn't have a lot of design on it. It's very faint because of how dark the blue is down here, but it's a nice contrast. And then our outside flap has some design on it also, which I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on camera because it's faint, but you can see it in person. Okay, and then our last one to cut is our caddy corner one. We fold this over, and we have a pretty design on that one. And we fold this up, and we have a pretty design on that one. Now, I will say this, because I do have those little stitchy pieces. I'm going to trim those off of there, actually. I don't want them on there. And I can't cut the other way, so. All right. Anyway, enough of my cutting woes. All right. Now, let's get more stitching. I mean, more dotted lines cut. It reminds me of faux stitching. I think I used it in something else I had. I kept it on there and actually used it as like a little faux stitching stripe. All right, let's punch our notches. Turn this around, punch this notch. Two. Look, they're jumping all over me. Punch this notch. And then we'll do our corners just because I can't not. I think it looks more finished, neater. I don't know what other... I don't know. When you leave the pointed corners, it makes it look more jagged, like it's like you've made some improper cuts or something, which, knowing me, I have. All right, let's glue this one down. So, let me see. Oh, I don't know if we should get into another one or not, guys. Now, we did get 2 made, so that's good. Especially if you're trying to build up journal stuff. Okay, make sure this is nice and... All right, let's do this one. And, you know, off camera, I will probably make more of these. But this was an idea to show you this. And I don't know, maybe you've seen this somewhere before. Maybe I'm... But I feel like there's only so many ways you can cut 12 by 12 paper before it just starts to fall apart. So... all the patterns and stuff we come up with to do all of these 12 by 12 paper projects. I mean, like I said, you can only cut... I didn't glue that one down yet. I'm losing my mind. Okay. Let's see if we can do this without wandering off the sanity cliff. All right, we're just going to trim this edge up. What's nice about this edge is I don't have to worry about a fold on that edge. Okay, so that's our... It doesn't seem to be overhang. I got a glue mess. This thing works great, by the way, guys, and you don't have to pay a lot of money for it at the... They have them at They have them at Dollar Tree. So, and it does. It gets rid of all the glue residue. Works really good. Okay. Now we just glue down our little triangle flaps here, and we are done with another one. All right. Last edge. Oh, lots of glue. All right. Speaking of glue, this is it, guys. That's all the Fabri-Tac I got left. And I was talking to my husband about it the other day, and he goes, "It's a consumable. Order it in bulk. It's dumb not to. You're going to use it up. It doesn't go bad. You can store it downstairs." He's so funny. All right, so this flap and then this flap. So we'll go ahead and burnish that one. This flap, plenty of room. Okay, and then this flap. Hey, we did good on our folding this time. And there you go, guys. Now this coffee dyed paper, I'm not really sure why. When I fold this paper before I coffee dye it, it doesn't do this. But when you crease it after you coffee dye it, for some reason it does this pulling away thing. I have had some other papers do it, but this one didn't. This one did really well. But okay, so there we go, guys. We have my prototype. Flip it up and open it out. And then we have one that I did for with Halloween, double-sided paper. And this one had the pocket on the in. See, this one has the pocket. Oh no, both of these have the pocket on the outside. Okay. And then for this one, we did the pocket on the inside. right? Okay, and like we talked about before, you can glue these down in a journal as a pocket, or if you really like that's really pretty. I don't know if I would want to lose that. I'd have to see how much other design I have. I mean, we got to keep quite a bit of it, so it might not be so bad. But you can glue these down in your journals and make pockets or tucks out of them. So I hope you guys liked this particular project with a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. I'm going to go run off and make some more. And I will see you guys in the next video. Talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.